Alright, what's up people? Today's video is going to be a little bit of a rant as to why Damian Lillard is the most underrated, underappreciated player in the NBA. So, first I divided the top NBA point guards into three tiers. The top tier, the upper tier, is only Steph Curry and Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook isn't human. He averaged a triple-double last year, MVP. We've been over that. So he's in the upper tier. And then Steph Curry, you have to put him up there. He's the back-to-back MVP, one-time unanimous MVP. He's got the 2 rings. But I'll get back to Curry in a few minutes. So tier 2 is where I have Damian Lillard. I have him at the top of tier 2. I have him at least on the same level as all of these names I'm about to name. Chris Paul, John Wall, Kyrie Irving. And I'm not counting James Harden as a point guard because, well, I would have counted him as a point guard last season, but this season they have Chris Paul, and he's definitely their point guard and not James Harden. I'm considering him a shooting guard. If you really insist on considering James Harden a point guard, you can, and he would be in that upper tier because he's in probably the second place for MVP candidate right now, if not for his injury of the hamstring. So yeah, I got Damian on the same level as those guys. The only people I have above him are Westbrook and Curry, and I don't even want to put Curry above him. Again, I'm going to say that in a second. And then the tier 3, I have Damian above these guys. I think if I was starting a team, I would take these guys after I take Damian Lillard. Kyle Lowry, Kemba Walker, Isaiah Thomas, and Mike Conley. So they're all great players, but I'm taking Damian Lillard above them. So getting back to Steph Curry, I just want to compare Damian Lillard and Steph Curry. This is a big thing for me. Curry is the 2-time MVP. Some say he's the best shooter of all time. Let's compare their career stats. So the only difference is Curry averaged 23 points a game for his career, 23, 4, and 6. Damian, 22, 4, and 6. So Damian averages basically the exact same stats as Steph Curry, except 7/10 less of a point per game. Yet Damian Lillard is the biggest all-star snub every single year, should make the all-star team, could even be a starter on the all-star team a lot of the times. Yet Curry is the captain. That's ridiculous. So I'm also going to talk about why, this is just another example and reason why the NBA is just so completely lopsided and the Western Conference is just an insanely powerful juggernaut compared to the Eastern Conference. And if the Eastern Conference didn't have LeBron James, they would have practically nothing. So in another video, I'm going to talk about how the NBA should do. The only thing the NBA should do that the NFL does is divide it into an NFC, AFC type thing rather than an East-West type thing, because clearly you could see that doesn't work, which is why they're doing a little mini draft in the All-Star game. That isn't being televised, by the way. So LeBron and Steph Curry are just going to have this secret All-Star draft. Why wouldn't they televise that? I don't know. So I'm just going to go year by year here. The biggest thing with Damian Lillard being overlooked, I think, is after the 2014-15 season, they were doing great. They still had LaMarcus Aldridge, right? So it's Damian Lillard, LaMarcus Aldridge as the 2 All-Stars on the team. This is before CJ McCollum emerged as a star player, potential All-Star as well. So Damian Lillard's first season, the 2012-13 season, that was the only season that he didn't make the playoffs. And keep this in perspective, people. Damian Lillard plays for the Portland Trail Blazers. Portland is arguably the smallest market in the entire NBA. You got Memphis, Indiana, Utah, Denver. There's a couple teams like that, but who wants to go play in Portland? Except for Damian Lillard. I remember last year he actually mentioned that he wants to play his entire career there, similar to Kobe Bryant or Tim Duncan. So Damian Lillard's second season, right? They still have LaMarcus Aldridge, so Damian's 22 years old or so at this point. 2013-14 season, his second year, they win 54 games. The Portland Trail Blazers win 54 games in the West. Other than LaMarcus Aldridge, who did Damian Lillard have to play with? I'll wait. Nobody. He just had a very good coach, who, by the way, should be way up there for Coach of the Year, Terry Stotts. He takes this team of Damian Lillard and a bunch of nobodies, and they make the playoffs every single year. So, fast forward another year, 2014-15. This is the final year that LaMarcus Aldridge is on the Portland Trailblazers. I forgot to mention the first. So they missed the playoffs Damian Lillard's rookie year. Their second year, they make the playoffs and they lose in the second round. That was the year that he hit the huge buzzer beater against the Rockets in the first round in Game 6 to end that series. So, out in the second round in his second season, first time in the playoffs, second time in the playoffs. After winning 54 games previously, in the season previous, they win 51 games the next year, and they're out in the first round. I believe that was to the Memphis Grizzlies. So, again, like, the West is so stacked. A team like another small market team like the Memphis Grizzlies, whose best player, Mike Conley, no one even talks about. He's another one that's underrated, but I'm still taking Damian Lillard over Conley. And Marc Gasol. That's it. So they've always had a solid team, the Memphis Grizzlies, but this video is not about them. I'm just saying the West is so full of competition that even the 8 seed is a strong team that you want to watch out for. So going fast forward to the 15-16 season, this is the most important reason why I think Damian's the most underrated, underappreciated player in the league. So 15-16 season, the year previous in the 14-15 season, LaMarcus's last year, they won 51 games. LaMarcus leaves, their only hope other than Damian. So it's Damian and a bunch of nobodies in the 15-16 season, and they still win 44 games in the West, the stacked, overpowered West. So only going down 7 games, it was a miracle when they made the playoffs with LaMarcus. And then LaMarcus leaves, one of their only 2 All-Stars, and then it's Damian Lillard with the emerging CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum is really good, and the most improved player. That year he also won most improved player. So McCollum definitely had to step up to fill LaMarcus's shoes, but I just can't help but notice that this team didn't really drop off much when LaMarcus left. And yes, LaMarcus Aldridge played great. I think he was a top 5 big man in the league until he went to the Spurs, and then Coach Popovich, I guess, I don't know. It took him 2 or 3 years to finally be the same player that he used to be. And this season, LaMarcus is finally playing up to how he should. So this team is bounced out. The Portland Trailblazers are bounced out in the second round again. It's Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, and that's it. A bunch of nobodies in a small market. So he deserves major credit there. It was a miracle they made the playoffs with LaMarcus, and then without it, they still made the playoffs. I can't even understand that. So 16-17 season last year, they still win 41 games, so they go 500. They go 41-41 again in the West. That keeps getting more and more stacked every single year. Portland Trailblazers, I'm going to keep saying that. So they're bounced out in the first round again last year, and it's because they had to play the Fantastic Four Warriors, who are an unfair all-star Olympic Monstars Space Jam team that everyone knows isn't fair at all. So 4 All-Stars versus one debatable All-Star, so we'll call it 1.5. 4 All-Stars versus 1.5 All-Stars. The defending champions versus a super small market team. They swept them. With the home court too, of course. So my final thing is I'm just going to go over the 3 seasons that Damian Lillard played with LaMarcus, and then the 3 seasons that he has played since LaMarcus left. It is staggering. So this is including Damian's rookie year. His rookie year, he averaged 19 points a game. That's very impressive. And then 20 points a game, and then 21 points a game. Okay? And then LaMarcus Aldridge leaves, goes to the Spurs, and 25, 27, and this year 25 points a game. So I'm not saying that LaMarcus was holding Damian Lillard back, but I don't know. Damian Lillard is scoring a lot more points a game without LaMarcus on the team. So I don't know. Maybe, who knows? There's a lot to be speculated there, but Damian Lillard is the man. I'm only putting Westbrook and Curry above him as far as point guards. Harden, if you consider him a point guard, but I don't consider Harden a point guard when Chris Paul is on that team, which he is now. So I have Westbrook above Damian, and then I had to put Curry above him. I would put him on the same level as Curry, just because I'm so bitter about how overlooked this guy is. Doesn't even make the All-Star team, and he averages 1 less point per game than Curry, and Curry is the All-Star team captain. That's such a joke. So, Damian Lillard is the most underrated, underappreciated player in the NBA. Those are the reasons why, and thank you for watching. I got more videos coming, guys.